successful as I am today.
We love you, Mike.
We can talk to anyone because I came here running for my friend. A lot of craziness going on in life, just not, here to talk to. Now it sounds weird as a guy. Way too many women in one place for me to be.
That explains a lot.
A few weeks go by and Bill's talking to me, sorta, and all of a sudden this girl comes up to me, gal, late 20s, and rolls up next to me and goes, "Hey, your name's Mike." I go, "Yes, I'm Mike." She goes, "I think you can help me." I'm like, "Okay, great, I'll help you." She goes, "My name's Molly, and I want to qualify for Boston." I said, "Oh, great, that's a good goal." She goes, "Never run a marathon before." I'm like, "Well, okay, let's try to figure this one out." And so, from that day on, Molly and I started this weird relationship. Everyone cheers, "Go team," as you run by people. As the weeks went on and Molly starts improving and we start building this relationship, people start cheering, "Go Molly, beat Mike." And so it became this huge fun experience that, Molly and I would go out and run by ourselves. We were going quick, and it was this huge war. I was like, where did I get this fight started, So Boston, or the race comes along San Diego. Molly's in great shape. We're having a lot of fun. We take off. We start with about 5 or 6 people, about mile 15. It's just Molly and I. It's just us running together. We see Bill and a few other folks. We then get to mile 20. And you can start seeing that flash in their eye going, "Yeah, I'm getting tired." I'm like, "Okay, just keep moving. We're doing good. You're running for a cause and all that kind of stuff." Mile 24, I'm running. Molly starts walking. I get about 10 yards in front of Molly, and I turn around, and this is probably, where's Heather?
Heather? She's walking away.
This is not the team and training kind of mentor you want. I turn and I yell, "Molly! You owe team and training 2 more miles!" Now everyone, as you come in these last 2 miles, all the fans are watching, the whole fans all step back. Well, husband and wife thing going on. So Molly looks at me and goes, "Molly, you owe team training 2 10-minute miles. You can do this." So she starts running, coming in, and then, obviously Bill shows up and saves the day. Molly starts with friends, and family, and Bill, and picks it up and crosses under the banner with 1 minute to go to qualify for Boston. So that's Molly's story. And before I always call Molly and go, "Hey, I want to tell her story," and she's always embarrassed. But so that's a great part of the story. What happens next is what really changed me. So I'm sitting there and unlacing my shoes and all that kind of stuff. Molly's hugging everyone, all that kind of stuff. My mom came out to meet Jules and everybody. My mom walks up to me. And I was like, "Oh, what did I do wrong?" She walks up, gives me a big hug, and holds me like a mom does. She looks at me and goes, "I've never been so proud of my son ever." She goes, "I've seen you run in high school. I've seen you run through college. Dude, I've seen you get sponsored by beer companies and stuff. But I've never actually knew how talented my son was to get Molly to Boston." And that's one of the 2 reasons why I keep coming back every year. Everyone has a special role in the team. You might not know what it was. And when I first showed up and I was grumpy and angry at the world, I didn't know I could bring anything to the team. I didn't think I had any skill to bring to the team other than just be the annoying guy. But it really is, you have a special place. You might be that person that pays somebody. You might be that person that just talks to someone and gets them through a rough spot in their life. You might be that person that just inspires someone else. You have a special role in this team. You will find it during this exercise. You will find it during this whole thing. So you'll find your place. Look for it. Molly will walk up to you one day, or Mike will walk up to you one day, and that could be the person you inspire on this team. The second lesson I learned was about 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later, I go to the mailbox. In my mailbox is typically just typical spam kind of mail that comes in the mailbox, and no letters. But I got a purple envelope. I'm like, "Oh, this is odd. I never get personal mail." So I bust it out and I look at it and I open it up, and it says, "Thank you" on the outside. I open it up, it says in giant letters, "Getting us to Boston." And it's signed by like 20, 30 people. Unbeknownst to me, Molly was an oncology nurse. She was running for an entire floor. And every week she would go tell them on Monday or Tuesday when her shift would start about Mike. She would go, "He's a lunatic," or "This is what he's doing. He's running an ultramarathon," or "He's doing this," or "He's traveling here." And it became Molly and Mike, these people that they were all going to Boston with Molly. Not physically, but emotionally. So I never knew that. So I was running, in my mind, for Jules. And when I got that card, I realized we are not running just for our single cause we're here. You might be here for a spouse, a friend, someone, coworker, one person, maybe two. You are actually running for hundreds and hundreds of people, and they are inspired by you. So when you're out there running, that's what you're running for. Not you're one person, that one person is really special to you.